then we see that Shaykh Saleh al-Fawzan, he was asked a question, and the question is basically that some of the du'at, some of the callers who are present on the scene, they are trying to call people to Allah, may Allah guide them. They say, indeed, the word Salafi, when we use this term, Salafi, Salafi da'wah, Salafiyyah, and so on and so forth, this is something which causes splits between the people. So do not identify yourself. Do not say, I am a Salafi. Do not say, we are Salafis. So what is your answer? What is your answer to this? The Shaykh, حفظه ta'ala, he said, لفظة Salafi, this word Salafi, تفرق بين السلفيين الذين على مذهب السلف والمبتدئة وأهل الضلال. He said that the word Salafi is something which actually does cause a split. It causes a split between the Salafis who are upon the way of the Salaf, the way that we just described, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ and his companions and those who followed them. It causes a split between those people who would stick to that and between the people of innovation, the people of misguidance, and this itself is a distinction. This is a mayyiza, this is something which is a praiseworthy distinction, that a person should actually be upon the madhab of the Salaf. And he uses as evidence the statement of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And so pay attention to the ayah which he uses. The Shaykh, he quotes the ayah in Surah Yusuf, verse number 38, in which Yusuf alayhi salam, he says, وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَائِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ مَا كَانَ لَنَا أَن نُشْرِكَ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. He said, that Yusuf alayhi salam said, I follow the millah of my forefathers who came before me, Ibrahim and Ishaq and Ya'qub. It is not for us to associate anything as partner with Allah. And this is Surah Yusuf, Surah 12, verse number 38. So the Shaykh continues. So he uses this ayah as an evidence for following one's forefathers who were upon righteousness and goodness. So he says, following the Salaf therefore upon Tawheed and upon the Aqeedah is a sharf and madh, is nobility and is praise. And so we boast, فَنَحْنُ نَفْتَخِرُ, we boast, and we ask Allah to make us upon the madhab of the Salaf. Think about this. If we were to address the Jews or the Christians of today, or if we were to find, let's just say for argument's sake, that there was a Christian who says, I am the follower of the actual disciples of Isa alayhi salam, from them is James, for example, and from them, other than them, and they were truthful in what they were saying, then they would actually be upon Islam. They would be upon Islam. So let's just say for argument's sake, that there was a Christian who actually did say this, even though it's very hard to find people like this, because Christianity, it's split into two groups. The first group were the original followers of Isa alayhi salam. So they were, if you like, Salafis of that time. They were the Salaf of that time. And after them came a group of people who didn't do what they said, and they did what they weren't commanded. And so essentially they innovated into the religion, and they created an altered, distorted religion. And that's what became known as Christianity as it is today. But for argument's sake, if there were people, it would be an honor for a Christian today to be truthfully following the actual disciples of Isa alayhi salam, just as it would be an honor for a Jew today if he was to be following the actual companions of Musa alayhi salam. Even though we know this is not possible, and the deen is muharraf and mubaddal, and that they have no obligation except to follow the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the point being, in light of what the Shaykh has mentioned, we ourselves, we boast about this. We boast about this. We boast about this to other people, that we are followers of the Salaf. And likewise to the Jews and Christians, we say that we are followers of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whereas we know that you are unable to follow the companions of those whom you claim to be following, whether it is Isa alayhi salam or whether it is Musa alayhi salam. So this is a tremendous quality. It is a sharaf and madh, as the Shaykh mentioned, and it is something that one can boast about if he is truthful in his claim. Right? And we shall come and address these issues later, that when we make this association has to be with ilm and amal. And it can't be on the basis, as we find with some of the jama'at and other than them, that their association with Salafiyyah is for other objectives. It is not with ikhlas, it is not with sincerity, it is not genuinely seeking what the Salaf were upon. It is for other objectives, and inshallah if we have time we can address some of those jama'at and the firq. But the point being, the Shaykh says, this is something that we are proud of, we do not feel shy in saying this and explaining this to the people, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us upon the madhab of the Salaf, and that He makes us to be firm upon it, وَلَوْ فَارَقَنَا مَنْ فَارَقَ, despite whoever may split and separate from us, whoever splits and separates from us. We do not simply gather the people together. نحن لا نجمع الناس. We're not people who just gather people together, but rather we call them to the madhab of the Salaf and the sound creed. So going back to what we read in the first question, this is what we're actually calling to. We're not simply gathering bodies together for a reason amongst the reasons. This is not our motivation. We are calling people to actually understand the book of Allah and the sunnah of His messenger in accordance with the madhab of the Salaf and the sound creed. This is what we call to. So if they respond, فَإِنِ اسْتَجَابُوا فَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ, if they respond, then all praise is due to Allah. And if they do not, if they want to be separate and away from this, then for them is whatever they choose for themselves.